There's a moment, quiet and unannounced, where something inside you just stops. Not out of failure, not out of weakness, but because you're simply tired of holding everything together. You've been pushing, trying to make life bend to your plans, trying to force answers out of silence. And it's exhausting, isn't it? But then, without warning, you just let go. Not with drama, not with a breakdown. You just exhale and everything shifts. It's strange how life works like that. When you stop forcing it, when you stop running around trying to control every piece, suddenly things begin to move again. Not because you pushed harder, but because you finally got out of the way. Letting go isn't weakness. It's a quiet kind of strength. The kind that says, I don't need to chase anymore. I trust what's already mine. And once you reach that place, where you're no longer chasing life like it's running away from you, you start to notice something. Life was never trying to avoid you. It was waiting for you to calm down long enough to receive it. You see, most people spend their entire lives in fight mode, not just against the world, but against time, against others, against themselves. They wake up in a hurry, chase goals in a panic, and fall asleep with tension still buzzing in their chest. And the strangest part, they think this is how it's supposed to be. But look closer, that urgency, that obsession with being in control, it doesn't come from clarity. It comes from fear. Fear of being left behind. Fear of not being enough. Fear that if you don't keep everything in your grip, it'll all fall apart. But here's what nobody tells you. Life isn't a machine you need to control. It's a rhythm you need to sync with. And just like music, the more you tense up, the more offbeat you become. You lose the timing. You miss the cues. You try to speed up what's meant to unfold slowly. Real peace, the kind that doesn't vanish when you close your eyes, comes when you stop needing to fix the moment, when you stop asking life to be something else, when you stop trying to hold water in your hands, and finally let it flow through your fingers. That's where the magic begins. That's where things start showing up for you. People, ideas, moments, all without being chased. Not because you gave up, but because you aligned yourself with how things really move. You became the calm center in the middle of chaos, and that's when life finally starts responding. Here's the truth most people never hear. Letting go isn't weakness. It's not giving up. It's the quiet decision to stop holding yourself hostage to outcomes you were never supposed to control in the first place. Because the more you cling to certainty, the more life slips through your hands. You start micromanaging every little detail, every conversation, every moment, every delay, as if the universe is some broken machine you need to fix. But life isn't broken. It's just not on your schedule. And here's where it gets real. The moment you truly let go, you stop living in resistance. You stop waking up with the pressure of needing to make things happen. Instead, you begin noticing what's already happening. Opportunities that were always there. Signals you used to miss. Clarity that feels effortless. You're not lazy. You're not passive. You're just finally moving with life, not against it. Because the funny thing is, when you're so focused on controlling the path, you forget to trust the intelligence behind it. The pauses, the detours, the closed doors. They weren't mistakes. They were redirects. They were quiet whispers saying, you don't need to push so hard. You're still being led. And when you realize that, you start showing up differently. You become calm, not because everything is perfect, but because you finally understand. You were never meant to carry the weight of the world on your own. And when you stop trying to control everything, something unexpected happens. Your presence becomes magnetic, not because you're chasing validation, not because you're trying to be the best version of yourself 24 hours a day, but because people can feel it. They can sense that you're no longer operating from fear. You're not in survival mode. You're not grasping, pleasing, or constantly seeking approval. You're simply being. And that kind of energy creates safety. It creates gravity. It pulls people in. Not because you're performing, but because you're finally aligned. When you're forcing life, you're trapped in your head, overthinking, overanalyzing, planning every word before it's spoken. But when you trust life, you return to your body. You notice your breath again. You listen instead of reacting. You speak from calm, not from urgency. And that shift changes how people respond to you. Suddenly, you're not chasing attention. It finds you. You're not demanding love. It flows toward you. Because when you stop forcing your way through life, you become someone who moves through life with depth. Someone who knows that silence can say more than noise. That waiting isn't wasted time. That being grounded in yourself is the most attractive energy there is. So many people exhaust themselves trying to be liked, trying to control outcomes in their relationships, their careers, even their healing, and they miss the point entirely. The less you need to force, the more life flows in the direction that was always meant for you. But you can't fake that trust. You build it moment by moment, by sitting in uncertainty without trying to escape it, by being okay with not knowing, and still moving forward anyway. That's the path. It isn't loud, it isn't dramatic, but it's the only one that leads you back to yourself. As you begin living from trust instead of tension, you'll notice something else. Clarity doesn't come from thinking harder. It comes from quiet. When you stop forcing life, your inner world finally has space to speak, not in loud, obvious ways, but through gentle nudges, subtle shifts, that calm knowing you feel when something simply aligns. You've probably felt it before, that quiet pull toward a decision that doesn't make sense on paper, yet somehow feels right in your heart. Or that peace that arrives the moment you finally let go of something you've been clinging to. That's the voice of clarity, but it doesn't shout. It only appears when you've stopped making noise. Most people drown out that voice, not because they want to, but because they've been conditioned to fight their way through life, to hustle, to grind, to think their way through every scenario until they've outsmarted the unknown. But here's the truth. The unknown isn't your enemy. It's your ally. It holds everything your mind can't predict, but your heart already senses. The moment you stop trying to conquer it, you begin co-creating with it. That's where life unfolds differently. You walk into rooms with less fear. You make choices that feel lighter. You stop chasing signs and start becoming one. Because you've built trust, not just in life, but in yourself. From that space, you don't force clarity, you receive it. You don't force success, you align with it. You don't force connection, you attract it through presence, through peace, through the way you carry yourself when you no longer carry everything else. That's the energy people can't explain, but they feel the moment you walk into a room, and you'll feel it too. When you stop asking life to hurry and start allowing it to meet you exactly where you are. Once you begin embodying that trust, not pretending, not performing, but truly living it, the world starts reflecting a different version of you. People respond to your energy before they respond to your words. When your energy is no longer rooted in desperation, tension, or the need to prove yourself, you become magnetic in a way that can only be felt. Control whispers insecurity. It says, I don't trust what's coming, so I need to shape it myself. But surrender? Surrender is powerful. It says, I trust that what's meant for me is already moving toward me. I don't need to chase it, only receive it. That energy changes everything. It's the calm confidence that makes people feel safe, the quiet depth that makes others lean in, the peace in your eyes that silently says, I've seen chaos, and I didn't let it break me. I let it build me. Now you're no longer clinging to life. You're flowing with it, like a river that stopped trying to outrun the current and finally became part of it. This is why the moment you stop seeking, stop trying to fix, chase, earn, or control, you begin seeing life through an entirely different lens. Support appears from unexpected places. You meet people who feel like alignment instead of effort. Time begins working with you, not against you. It's not magic. It's not luck. It's what happens when your nervous system shifts from fear into trust. When your energy says, I'm okay. Even here, even now. Life quietly answers, good. Now let me show you just how okay you really are. This isn't just a mindset. It's an invitation. The more you live from that space, the more the right things, not just any things, begin arriving without force. So let me ask you something. When was the last time you truly stopped forcing? What changed the moment you finally let go? If this message is finding you at exactly the right time, pause for a second and write "flow" in the comments. Not for the algorithm, but as a promise to yourself that you're choosing trust over tension from this moment forward. One word: flow. Sometimes the commitment you write is the commitment your heart finally believes. If you're ready for more messages like this, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications. And thank you for being here. Truly, your presence matters. Your energy is felt. I'll see you in the next one.